It's a
I'm
lot
like,
of
I don't
feel.
know. They're
It's
like,
a
did he
rich
break his
tapestry,
wrist?
you
I'm
might
like, I
say.
don't know what it means.
Banner count, Celtics are at 18, Lakers at 17, 18 if you want to count the in-season tournament, bro.
No, nobody's counting that.
That counts.
It actually is
counts-
hanging in
Yeah,
the
but it doesn't
rafters.
count in the banner count. It counts in. They're up 1-0 on in-season
That would give
tournaments.
LeBron an extra
No, I don't
ring.
need. Listen, I don't need fraudulent cases.
Okay, Magic Johnson not happy, tweeting, I hate that the Celtics officially have more championships than us. Brew, is there pressure on the Lakers to win another title?
Let me first say this. The better franchise is the Lakers. All right? Any disagreement?
You wanted
No.
that to be the question. And
No,
you said, we don't want to do that.
No disagreement. All right,
Derailed
the
it.
Lakers are the glamour franchise of the NBA.
Brew
They didn't
wanted
get
that
most
to
of
be
their
the
titles in the
question.
'60s.
Oh, you don't like Bill Russell now?
I love Bill Russell.
Well, it does
but
seem like it. You're throwing his titles in the trash for Bob Cousy.
Since
I don't
Bird,
like
they
Bob
got
Cousy.
2
I'm on the
championships.
record.
Since
It's
1986, they got
what's the
2
score?
championships.
It's 18 to 17.
All right,
We're talking about
Please, it ain't-
franchise record.
Maybe we should have done this
even
topic.
close.
Well, it is close. It's 18-17 Celtics.
You agree with me, so stop. There's always pressure, not so much because of this. All right, 18 to 17. I know Magic is all up in arms about it, but there's always pressure when you got LeBron on your team, and he's still playing well. And Nick, they've got 2 top 15 players in the league.
Yeah,
we are in
according
an
to King of the
era
Hill.
of parity. We're in an era of parity. Yeah. And if I'm the Lakers and LeBron and AD, I'm thinking, why not us?
Yeah.
We got 2 top 15 players. Who else has that? Boston and Phoenix? Probably it.
Phoenix, maybe.
I mean, okay.
So
so maybe 1, maybe 2 teams.
Yeah, but I would say, here's the thing. I would say there's all of the frontline contenders, almost all, have 2 top 25 players,
Right,
and then far
right.
better supporting cast is the differentiator.
But they got 2 top 15, and I think their supporting cast still is pretty good. I think that if they play a certain way, they could be. I don't think they can win the championship, and that's going to be the pressure on J.J. Redick or whoever the next coach is.
Oh, that's the thing.
But
They don't have a coach.
Well, you need a coach.
Well, they'll have one before the season starts.
I don't know, man. Monty Williams has lost his job during this Lakers coaching search.
Honestly.
Real talk. They might want to look at Monty.
Here's the problem, guys, when it comes to the Lakers getting a great coach. Monty Williams is now getting more money to not coach the Pistons than the Lakers were willing to pay Dan Hurley to coach them.
That's perfect for them.
Well, if you're saying that they need...
Would you think they should look at Monty? I do, of course.
I would, and I'm trying to be polite. But if in door number 1 is J.J. Redick, there's going to be a long list of people that I would try to wave through door number 2 before I go to door number 1. Because, to Brew's point, if they are fringe contenders, it is only for right now if LeBron stays. And it is we are now 4 years past when people were like, LeBron, you know what I mean? The steep decline's probably coming. That was 4 years ago. And obviously he's not the same player, but to your point, he's still all-NBA. So every year you have him, you got to be going for it. So I don't think, trying out a first-time coach of anything is the right idea.
No, I agree.
And I don't think they treat themselves like they're pressure to win the title.
Bro, what is this?
What is this?
Are the Dolphins done being breakdancers?
Guys,
Time All-Star, widely regarded as one of, if not the best baseball player of all time. Brew, how will you remember Willie Mays?
Well, I was 5 years old when he retired in '73, so I didn't see him in, obviously, much other than film. But he was my father's favorite player, and my father thought he was the best player ever. So that was like, he was seared into my conscience. I had like a little Willie Mays baseball card that, is all in tatters now after we used to play baseball with it. But I'll just remember him as that. And in studying him and even talking to my dad about him, the thing about Willie Mays, I mean, he did everything. He was a Gold Glove center fielder. He hit with power. He had 2 years of 50 or more home runs. Hit for average, hit over 300 for his career. Led the league in stolen bases 4 or 5 years. I mean, he did every single thing at the ultimate high level. And so I'll remember him as arguably the greatest baseball player ever. And remember, he played a lot in Candlestick which is hard to hit home runs, and he still ended up with 660.
And
he may have hit 700 or more if he played
also
up
lost
somewhere else.
almost 2 full seasons fighting in a war, and the season when he came back, he hit 41 home runs, and he still finished with 660. I think the case for Willie Mays as the greatest baseball player of all time is the cleanest case you can make for any player. Sorry, I actually
think
have
that's
something
fair.
in my eye. As far if you like the WAR stat, he's third all time for position players behind Ruth and Bonds. There's obviously weird cloud with Bonds. You add to it, no outfielder has more Gold Gloves than Willie Mays. Only Roberto Clemente has as many. I mentioned that. He had a season plus of, the beginning of his prime taken from him. Brew, you mentioned the baseball card. I tweeted it out today. The only real piece of non-Royals baseball memorabilia I have, and I've had it since I was 8, is a picture of the catch with a box that has a signed, not the baseball from it, but a signed Willie Mays baseball. And when people hear these things, he was great for 20 consecutive seasons.
Right.
So we can show you his numbers as a 20-year-old, his numbers as a 30-year-old, in his 30s, I should say, and then read that bottom line. At 40, led the NL in walks and on-base percentage, and that was the only time he struck out. The only year of his career he struck out more than 100 times. He led the league in walks that year. And so I think he is, when you combine offense, defense, and the fact that there is no, but it wasn't an integrated league.
Well,
But it was the
Ruth,
steroid era. And so there is no qualifier on Willie Mays. And it's a sports fan. Walton West and Willie in 2 weeks is really, really unbelievable and hard to deal with.
But you know what? And 93, and you died peacefully.
Yeah. There's one thing I wanted to add, because there's so many statistics that just are mind-blowing. And the great thing about baseball is that's harder to do in basketball and football. It's like, different era with that. Could Fran Tarkenton play today? And you're not quite sure. But Willie Mays could step in today and play. But like you were saying that your dad was your dad's favorite player, there was something special and magical about the way he played with such charisma and showmanship. And I thought this quote was interesting. It's a quote he gave to NPR in 2010. "I made the clubhouse guy fit me with a cap that when I ran, it flies right off." He made it extra small. You also have to tilt your head a little bit because you got to get the wind in there. People love that type of stuff, So he was selling sort of the sizzle with the steak and making baseball fun to watch and bringing his whole personality there. And that's what made him say, "Hey, kid."
And you said it 2 weeks ago when we were talking about, but I think it warrants mentioning. When you look at Willie Mays' stats today, there's 8 more hits than there was 2 weeks ago because he played in the Negro Leagues. And, that is our living, I apologize for that turn of phrase. It is our living history, even though Willie is passed, and it's an important part of it, and it's unbelievable. That was a great story.
Willie Mays was 93. We'll be right back.
Dang.
We're going to start with Tatum's legacy. With Larry O'Brien in hand, the Celtics are going to hand-deliver $315 million 5-year extension to Jason Tatum. Tatum was first-team All-NBA, but didn't shoot particularly well in the finals, which oddly didn't matter, ? Brew, does Tatum have anything more to prove?
First of all, he's getting the money and he deserves the money. We all agree on that, right? This is what it is. He should get that. Okay, so
I think that this
question he should get this.
It's going to be the biggest contract ever temporarily.
Right.
There are going to be other
Browns was the biggest.
Jalen Browns was the biggest.
Right.
This is a player getting his 3rd deal at his level of all NBAs.
26.
Right. This is what they get. So, yes, I don't think there's any smart debate about whether or not you max out Jason Tatum.
You got a championship.
Yeah,
so,
correct.
yeah. But, yes, he does have something to prove, which is that he can play his best in the NBA Finals. That's what he's got to prove. Now, I don't equate that with he has to win a Finals MVP, but obviously if he plays his best, there's a good chance he would get that. I do think the general public will be waiting, assuming they win again, waiting for him to be the MVP. If they get back to the Finals next year, the year after, whenever, the storyline, or one of the storylines, like it was with Steph, will be, it might depend on who's in it. Is he facing Luka?
Sure.
If it's Luka, I think it'll be bigger. Can Luka finally get one or whatever? But that'll be a big storyline. Will he be the Finals MVP? So yeah, he's got that to prove. I'm sure personally.